This is Jim Calloway with the Oklahoma Bar Association Management Assistance Program. Welcome to our video, Getting Started with Your iPad, featuring Dave Owen.
All right, the first thing I'd like to demonstrate to you is the Home button. The Home button is located here on the iPad, and it is the only physical button that is on the iPad. This is what's known as the Home page. So let's say I'm down here in my third page of apps. I hit the Home button once, and I return to the Home page. Also, if I'm at the Home page and I hit the Home button once, I get a search function. Now this search function searches the entire contents of the iPad. So for example, I'm going to enter Beatles, B-E-A-T-L-E-S, and it brings up everything associated with the Beatles on my iPad. I have a couple apps here and all these Beatles songs. So you can see I'm a little bit of a Beatles fan. Hit the Home button once, and you return to the Home page. Now, if you hit the Home button twice, it reveals what is known as the Recents list. And these are all the apps that you've opened recently. It may seem like you closed them, but they're actually open in the background in random access memory. This is so you can easily switch between them. So for example, I can go to this Universe app that I have, double click here, go over to Maps, and I can switch between all these open applications. One thing you should do every once in a while, though, is clear these out, because they do use up your memory. So the way you clear these out is you hold your finger on any one of the apps, and they start to wiggle. And wiggling is actually the technical term that Apple uses for this feature. And to close them, you just hit the red circle, and they close. Now, one other thing, and you hit the Home button once, and they stop wiggling. Also, when you're in the Recents list, if you pull to the right, it will reveal some iTunes controls. So that's kind of nice. And you hit the Home button once to close it up, and that's the Home button. Gestures refers to how you use your fingers to navigate the iPad. One finger. Well, this is pretty obvious to people. I can move between my screens here. I will launch Safari. I can scroll up and down in this web page by using a single finger. So that's one finger. Two fingers. This is to do what's known as pinching and unpinching. Most people use their thumb and forefinger for this. I can unpinch, which zooms in, doing that, and I can pinch in order to zoom out. And you can actually use any two fingers to do this. Four fingers. You recall when I showed you the Recents list earlier? These are all the applications that are open right now. I could switch between them by just tapping on these icons, but also I can use four fingers to do what's known as a swipe and move between open applications. Also, if I swipe upward, it reveals the Recents list. So that's a quick way to do that. And finally, five fingers. This is how you quickly close an application. I place all five fingers on the screen, pinch inward, and it closes. Rearranging icons on an iPad is really quite simple. The first thing I do is just hold down my finger on any one of the icons, and they start to wiggle. And then I can drag it to wherever I want. I can also drag it between different screens. I'm going to put it back up here. And now, sometimes I might want to group similar apps into a folder. And making a folder, all I do is drag this app, say, on top of this one, and these are my two dictionary apps that I have. Now they try to suggest a name for it, but I could also do my own name, Dictionaries. All right, and I click anywhere. They're still wiggling. I want to show you something else. You can actually put up to 6 icons in what's known as the dock down here. So let's say I use dictionaries a lot. I just pull it down here, place it in my dock, and I click the home button once to stop the wiggling. And that's how you rearrange apps and make folders. One other thing is each folder can contain up to 20 apps. So it's a good way to keep the clutter down. All right, the next thing I'd like to show you is the iPad keyboard. First, I need to launch an app that has the keyboard. Notes is a good one. And what I do is I just tap anywhere in Notes and the keyboard pops up. Now I have the word hello already in there, and I will type everybody. Hello everybody. Now, if you look at these two buttons, it's smart enough to realize that you're probably going to capitalize the first letter in the next sentence. So if I, for example, type B, it will be capitalized, and all subsequent letters will be lowercase. However, if I want to lock the caps, I double-click that, it becomes solid blue, and all the letters are capitalized. Now, if you look at these buttons down in the left and right-hand corners, they have numbers on them. And what that does is that changes the keyboard over to a numeric keyboard and also special characters. So I can type some numbers in my sentence, and then also special characters like a currency sign, $sign. But there are some hidden characters. For example, on the $sign, if you hold that down, you'll see other international currency signs like the British pound and the euro. And there's several keys throughout all the keyboards that have these behind them. Another one is the I, some special I characters for whatever you're trying to do. Now, sometimes you'll be typing and you just need one numeric symbol, like a 3 or something like that. There's a lot of keystrokes to switch from back and forth between the two keyboards, so they developed this thing called sliding. What you do is you put your finger on that button and then hold down. Don't lift it up. I go over, I get the 3, it enters it, and then returns to the alphabetic keyboard. So if you do that a lot, that can save a lot of time. Now, sometimes you want to move the cursor around, and let me show you how to do that. Just go like that, put your finger down, you get this little magnifying glass, and then pick up. The cursor is in the middle, and then you can type in the middle of that string of characters. Also, copy and pasting. If I double click the whole thing, it gives me some options to cut, copy, and paste. I think I want to copy, and I type over here, and do a couple returns, click again, and paste. Finally, when you're done typing, there's a little picture of a keyboard down here in the lower right-hand corner, and you click that, and the keyboard goes away. That is the iPad keyboard. Just one more trick about the keyboard that I'd like to show you is I'll bring it up here. And a lot of us have become accustomed to typing with our thumbs because of the iPhone. So what you can do is split the keyboard. So you hold anywhere in the keyboard with your two thumbs, and you can pull it apart. Then you can just type with your thumbs. And to put it back together, you simply just push it back together. That is splitting the keyboard. Of course, one thing that lawyers do quite a bit of are presentations. Now, there's a great software on the iPad called Keynote to do presentations. It is actually Apple's software and is their equivalent of PowerPoint. The nice thing about Keynote is that it will actually open a PowerPoint presentation. So you can continue to create your presentations just as you do in PowerPoint, import them onto the iPad, and open them in Keynote. If you have the VGA connector cable, which is low cost and very easy to get at an Apple store or online, or at Best Buy even, you can connect to the overhead projection system and show your presentation. And do it off an iPad, which is a lot less bulky than bringing a laptop up to the podium. So I'm going to demonstrate Keynote right now. First thing I do is I'm going to launch the Keynote software. Here's a few presentations that I've imported. These first two are actually PowerPoint presentations. I click this, I go into presentation mode, and here's my presentation. And I can go backwards. Now, one really nice hidden feature of Keynote is it contains a laser pointer. And all you do is hold your finger down, and the laser pointer appears. And you can direct the audience's attention, or the jury, to certain parts of your diagram or photo or presentation, text, whatever. For example, I say, well, take a look at this cloud over here. The really nice thing about that is anybody who's ever used a laser pointer, you know that from a distance, trying to get that beam to be stable, it jumps around a lot just due to the motion of your hand. This is actually very stable and it looks great on an overhead projector. So this is one of the really nice presentation hidden features of the iPad, and that is Keynote. Alright, now we're going to demonstrate FaceTime. I tap the FaceTime icon. It brings up all your contacts, and you can also, initially it shows you what they'll be seeing, which is me right now. Hello everybody, nice to see you. I want to call my sister, so I'm going to click on Ruth Owen. Now if you don't have anybody set up, if you don't have this contact set up in FaceTime right now, you click this button, which is Edit, and it brings up your editing page, and in the FaceTime area you enter the email that Apple has or the email that you gave to the iTunes store, so somebody can connect over Wi-Fi. Okay, so you just put that in, that person becomes a FaceTime contact for you, you hit done, and then you simply click that email address, and it says it's calling my sister now. And sometimes it takes longer than shorter, or it just depends. Waiting on it. Oh, she picked right up. And oh, hi Ruth, how are you? And my sister has a little bit of a Star Wars affection, so she waved to the camera. Hi Ruth, why don't you wave again? Yeah. And so this is really powerful in terms of having client meetings, or maybe taking a deposition or something along there. Another thing is that you see this button down here, is that switches between the front and back camera. So in my sister's case, she could show me what something like a pet, or something in her yard or whatever. Ruth, why don't you click that switch button and let's see what's on the other side of your iPad right now. Oh, she's visiting with Darth Vader. Okay. Well, you can see the Star Wars theme here is prevalent. But anyway, switch back, Ruth, and say goodbye. There she is again. Bye. And all you do is hit end. And that is FaceTime.